I notice things I don't talk about sometimes. And I noticed that some of these big, tough guys, after about the second, third time they'd been there, they would deliberately, they'd watch where I was walking or something, and they'd deliberately get in my path because they knew I'd stop and hug them when I came by. And I'd start, I'd watch them, and out of the corner of my eye, and I'd start moving, and that guy would make a break and get over there to that aisle. Now, he couldn't let on that he wanted me to hug him, but he did. And I found out, one of the young men here, when he first came, he had some demons that hated me so badly. Now, no demon likes me particularly, but some of them have a virulent hatred for me. And there's a kingpin in him that really hated the ground I walked on. And he'd come up, and when he'd hug me, that demon would manifest. And he'd go, you know, and, you know, it's kind of an odd situation. The boy wanted hugging, I wanted to hug him, but the minute I touched him, the thing went wild. And we found out, though, that if he'd pray in tongues, that thing would have to stay down. And so when it started manifesting, I'd say, pray in tongues, and then he'd pray in tongues, and it'd have, you know. But that was, the whole thing about that, you see, is there was some things inside that hungered for love and affection, but were opposed to it. Now the Lord, I don't even remember how it all came about, except we learned in deliverance that love will burn out demons when nothing else will work. Well, I found some of these big old guys. The next thing, the Lord showed me that a lot of them, their fathers had never shown them physical affection. Even in a family where the father was affectionate. Oh, of course, many men are not affectionate at all. They're just kind of cold. It's inherited, it's learned, yes or no. And but even in families where there was the father was affectionate, he might hug his daughters even when they're married. But when the boy grows up, as a little boy, when he gets up just a little fella, pretty soon the daddy doesn't hug him anymore. He pats him on the back. You're my big man. Men don't hug, men don't kiss. Now, they don't tell them that, but they learn it by watching. Men don't hug, men don't kiss. That's a no-no. That wouldn't be masculine, see. Now, that boy grows up, and inside he has a hunger and a real need, especially at stressful times in his life, for his father to hug him, to show him physical affection. It's something he needs. And his mother can be affectionate and loving. That's great, and that helps, but that's not the same. His wife can't meet that need. But, you see, he's conditioned, no. So now he wants to be masculine above everything else, because in our society, you learn that's the great thing, and that's fine. But he wants this affection from his father. He's thrown into a pulling session, you see. And yet he can't afford to do that. So what he does, he builds a little wall up inside, and he hides behind that wall so nobody will see that he really would like for his daddy to hug him. He can't afford to walk up and say that because his daddy kind of said, you know, pushed him away. Oh, that's a no-no. Well, he grows up, and then he builds that wall higher and higher. And he gets to where you can't tell how he feels. Because men don't cry either when they hurt. That's a no-no too. That's weak, that's sissy. And oh my, sissy, that's about the word. That's just as bad, as low as you can get, you know, sissy. Well, he's not allowed to cry, you see, because, so he has to go behind that wall and cry inside. But by the time he gets in his early teens, he's big boy. You can hit him pretty good lick, unless he wants you to know it. You can't tell whether you hurt him or not. He may be crying inside, but you'll never know it. Because he's conditioned himself, you see. He's built a wall to keep everybody out. And he looks and he says, now I'm all right. Nobody can really shake me up. Then he makes a dreadful discovery. He's built a prison cell that has no doors. He's locked inside. And he meets people that he wants to form a close relationship to, men and women. And he reaches out to them and bang, he hits that wall. He can only get so close. And then they reach toward him the same way, in friendship, love. They hit the wall. And he's frustrated. What can he do? The walls are too strong. He can't break out. He can't talk to anybody about it. He doesn't even understand what it is himself. He just feels frustrated and annoyed. He doesn't know what's the matter with him. And then when he gets married, then he really has problems. Because here's the girl to whom he wants to give himself completely. That's why he married her. That's why he fell in love with her. And he wants to share everything with her. So he wants to open himself and, oh, this is going to be great. And so he marries this precious little girl he loves. And sure enough, he reaches out to her when they marry. Bang, he hits the wall. Oh, he can do and say all the right things. But there's something missing. It's not quite there, it's almost. Now, the woman reaches toward him the same way because she loves him. That's why she married him. They were going to share that out. And she reaches toward him, she hits that stinking wall. Now, she picks this up in her spirit. Women sense things in their spirit. And in her spirit, she knows that for some reason, he's not letting go. There's a reserve there that she can't get past. Now, being a woman, if it was a man, he would accuse her. This woman thou gavest me. Man's first response is to accuse somebody else. The woman, being a woman, she accuses herself. She says, what's the matter with me? What am I not doing that I should be? So she examines everything, and she thinks, hey, I'm doing everything I know to do. Well, get him. Who does he think he is? I'm giving everything to him, and he's holding back a little. Now, how come? That's not fair. That's not what we agreed on. We were supposed to flow. Well, he's frustrated and angry because he can't get through that stinking wall. He wants more than anything else. And she's wounded because she senses this and doesn't know quite what to do with it. So you got a strain on the marriage right away. Now, that wall was put up by a father, either on purpose, accidentally, or because he didn't have a father. The only person that can break that is another father. And this is where you come in. You can step in and spiritually adopt that boy to be his spiritual daddy. And if he'll accept that, usually when this message goes forth, there are big old ugly, there are women nodding their head all over the congregation, and there are men looking, trying not to look like I'm hitting them in the down deep where it hurts. But there'll usually be a bunch of men come up and say, you were talking about me this morning. And one reason I'm broaching it here is because we have enough people to handle it. But the thing that happens, these walls are up. They're high. They're very strong and very hard to breach. Only another father can do this. By stepping in the gap, you can give love to this fellow. Now, when you do, you're just going to have to hug him. And at first, it'll be like hugging a chair, because he's scared. And what I do, I just tell him, I love you, son. I accept you just like you are. Now, that's what they always wanted to hear from their dad. See, we daddies are terrible. Our sons never please us. They did well, but they should have done better. See? And the kid wants to please his daddy. And so here's a daddy he can please. And you're breaking down that wall of fear and convincing him, I'm going to accept you right where you are. I'm proud of you. And you can be honestly proud of the guy because he's seeking help. Somebody who's seeking help, that's a laudable thing. To realize he has a problem and to look for help. So all of this is sincere. It's not just a bunch of talk trying to, con somebody into something. This is all real. And when you do this, by the way, you'll feel agape love welling up in you for that fellow. And you can hug him, kiss him on the cheek, tell him you love him. And I usually tell him, I say, let me come through the wall, son. Let me come through. I can't get through if you block me, but I'll break that wall if you let me through. And pretty soon, he begins to concentrate on doing that. And I'll encourage him. I'll say, do you love me? And well, first of all, he has to start receiving the love that I'm giving him. Now, I can't explain to you how you know this. You'll just sense it in your spirit when he opens up and begins to take this like a sponge, a thirsty sponge. He begins to, instead of resisting this thing, he begins to say, oh, this is great, and everything. And then he's still timid. And I tell him, I say, do you love me? And he'll say, he doesn't say anything, that wouldn't be masculine. And I'll say, well, tell me. Real quiet, real quick, I said, well, show me. And then he'll hug down on you, and start hugging. And if you can get him to loving you back, that wall will just go wham. It'll go down, and his love will flow out towards you and you to him. And what happens, you see, is all that pent-up love that he had for his daddy will come pouring out like a torrent all over you. And this is the beautiful thing that happens. And usually I've had him just start hugging me and kissing me, and they say, I love you, Dad, I love you, Dad, I love you. He's not talking to me. He's talking to his own daddy, whom he loved so much and was never able to give this love. And here I'm a substitute. I'm sitting in for Dad. I'm his spiritual daddy, and now he can finally love somebody, not be ashamed, not be afraid, not be afraid that he'd be rebuffed, but he can let it go. And this brings a tremendous release. Usually he'll bawl like a baby. Even these big old boys that don't ever cry, hadn't cried for years. Next thing you know, your shoulder's wet. I say, go ahead and bawl. Just bawl. Let it go. Who cares? I don't mind if you cry. Come on, Dad doesn't mind you crying. Come on. Men do cry when they hurt. You've been hurt a lot. Now come on, cry. Let it go. Because they've got to get that hurt out of them. They've got to get that bitterness, that deep-seated isolation out of them. And when it's over, I'm telling you, it's different.